Wanted to talk a couple of seconds about this piece. I'm going to make a roll formed brick molding profile on this piece of aluminum trim work I got in my hands here. If you're capping a 2-inch piece of brick molding, the brake buddy doesn't work good with that, because unless you leave extra material and crimp and cut it off later, which is kind of a pain, the best way I've always found out is have 2.5 inches in here. Anything over 2.5 inches, you can easily bend your next leg. If it's less than 2.5 inches, the profile rubs on this particular Pro 3 brake. It'll rub on this bending edge here, this rubber strip here, and it never wants to. You have to monkey with it. You keep playing around. It doesn't want to seat right. Anything wider than 2 inches throws that profile out here more, and you're going to bend on a nice smooth piece. These brakes are for the first ones to have a moving hinge. You can see how these have extra room in the hinge, which allows you to get that a moving hinge, so you can clamp and make hems better when you do hems on a brake. Anyway, while you're here, I'm going to try to do this again with one hand, crude amateur video on the phone, one hand on the brake buddy. This is the brick molding rollers, roll form rollers on the brake buddy. This is the brake buddy. Had this tool for a couple of years. It's really a good, nice tool to have. When you do brick molding, you have to leave a little bit of room in here so that your leg can slide by. And then this thing here is an adjustment. This adjusts everything. So when I do a piece of fascia, and I'll measure off the back of the wheel to the back of the machine, and this job it's 1 7/16. So when I get done this brick molding and I go to put the rib former back in, I'll put the ribs back on, the rib former back on, and I'll just measure from here to here, from here to here, 1 7/16, and then all my ribs will be consistent in my fascia. All right, I'm going to try to run this brake buddy on here. This ain't too big of a deal. I always found when you run a brake buddy, always pull it to you. That's the best way to do it, is pulling it towards you, or that's the way I found it. Here is the work before, and there's the work after. That's a brick molded, roll formed edge on this. And when I use the brick buddy, I'm always holding pressure this way against this back leg. Now I'm going to take this right on off, and you got to kind of pull on it. All right, that's about a 3.5 minute video. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you stopping around. One more thing I did want to talk about. Here's where this leg's finally going to get bent. This being 2.5, the brake buddy makes it a little smaller than 2.5, but this being less or more than 2.5, when I go to bend it, this piece has to be slid in, of course. But when I go to bend it, these profiles, this face here, won't interfere with my bending bar. Anything less than 2, if you have a 2-inch trying to cap regular brick molding, it's kind of a pain because it always wants to slip off this. So that's how I do it. It's just food for thought. It's not this is how it has to be done. It's not an instructional video. It's just a video for showing how I do it. If you're ever wondering what goes on when you see this kind of a machine on a pickup truck, and what siding guys are doing out there. All right, 4-minute video. My name is Len David Hart.